Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager, Fireside Chat. God knows what number, but we're approaching 300. I can tell you that. Well, what do they say when there's an elephant in the room? You should acknowledge its existence or its presence. It's not an elephant, but it is a bulldog. I'd like to introduce all of you to Mr. Tubz. I have a lot of thoughts on this subject because it raises so many interesting issues. He just arrived, courtesy of our son Reed, and I want to make a few observations here on really a subject I don't talk about a lot, love, but this raises so many interesting questions. Some people might think, what, Otto just died 2 weeks ago and you already have a new dog? I don't know if people actually ask that, but I thought about it. So I assume people might think about it or even have some ambivalence about that. So let me address this subject because it applies to human life. For example, I have spoken on my radio show to many people who have remarried after a divorce or after being widowed, and their children, their adult children, are actually angry at them for remarrying quickly, whatever quickly means, within a year, within 2 years, maybe in some cases within 3 years or 4 years. So first we'll talk about the dog issue. And is it in any way, quote unquote, a sort of insult to Otto that we have this dog in, as it were, on the Fireside Chat and in his bed? So let me make something clear. There's no replacing Otto. Otto will remain in my wife's and mine and many others' memories for a very long time. So there's no such thing as this is the replacement. Otto's not replaceable. But unlike human beings, you can get another dog, and people do and should. If God forbid your child dies, you don't get another child. I mean, you might give birth to another child, but there's no such thing, which is in and of itself the rather important lesson that humans are not animals or pets, and animals are not humans. But the larger issue is love. And I was thinking about this, about people remarrying after the death. It's obvious that they'll do that after a divorce, but there are people who have been married 40 years, and then one of the spouses dies, and then they remarry. And often the children, who might well be in their 30s or 40s, are actually angry at the parent. Let's say it's mom who died. Dad, I can't believe it. You got married a year after mom died, 2 years after mom died, 3 years after mom died, fill in, or at any time. The children want to remain in the world of that's their family. And now this other woman or this other man has now come in and is not that family, but is now the husband or the wife of your mother or father. So I understand it, although I have not lived through that. I understand that, but it's a bit selfish to really, in effect, want your parent to stay alone the rest of their lives, or at least for a prolonged period. My mother used to say all the time, it was a really powerful saying, which obviously I remember because it etched itself in my memory. Life is for the living. And that doesn't mean we forgot those who died. There's no such thing. Of course we didn't. But to not want the best for your parent is sort of selfish. It may be natural, but it's still selfish. Why is it good for dad to be alone or mom to be alone? It isn't. In the dog world, there's love to be given to a pet, and why should one be bereft of that opportunity to love usually a dog or a cat? So it raises very interesting things. More on love. This is a cliche. I'm not a fan of cliches, but they become cliches because they're true. Love is not a pie. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, and if you haven't, maybe it's not a cliche. What does it mean, love is not a pie? Very simple. You have a pie, and you cut out a slice, and somebody eats it. So obviously there's less left of the pie. Until you eat enough slices, there's no more pie left. But that's not love. Love is not taking away from love when you give love to another. People need to understand that. They'll be a lot more secure, for example. Let's say you are divorced and your child does bond with a step-parent, your ex has remarried. That doesn't diminish the love for you. There's no such thing. It's just the child's world of love has expanded. It's actually a good thing. I don't know. Well, is he debating whether to stay? Is he on camera?
He's just trying to get comfortable.
He's trying to get comfortable. This is his first day here, folks. You're seeing a very amazing thing. I have to say, bulldogs are a very funny species of a dog, which is why we love them. I love when a dog makes me smile and laugh, which Otto did every day, and he's already begun to do the first day. Anyway, love is not a pie. The more, the merrier. That's pretty much it. If you have a very close friend whom you love, and you should love your close friend, and then you get another friend, does it, let's say you even love, does that diminish the love you had for the first? I'll tell you personally, I do love men in my life. I always have. It's been one of the greatest things in my life, my male friends. And I have had incredible joy from the fact that they meet each other and then they love each other. It doesn't even occur to me, well, I thought they were my friend. No, it doesn't work that way in life. So these are just some thoughts on getting another dog 2 weeks after your previous one has died, and about step-parents and about friends. It doesn't work that way. I know this is a simple thought, but we should want what is best for the other. When a man or a woman remarries after being widowed, divorce is a separate issue, but after being widowed, the fact that they have married somebody doesn't mean they didn't love the one who died. It's silly to even think that way. What should the spouse do? Well, in honor of my ex, I will never marry. God, I wouldn't want that for my wife. And I fully expect that I will leave this world before she does, hopefully in a long time, but nevertheless, it doesn't occur to me. Our love is real. And that's true for the people who remarry. As my mom said, life is for the living. It's not a selfish concept. It's just you have to live this life and to live it in as rich a way as you can. For those of you on social media, I want to remind you once again that PragerU is quite concerned that one day some of these social media, like YouTube, will simply pull the plug on us because of the amount of censoring done to non-left-wing sites. So we ask you to watch all my Fireside chats from the beginning at PragerU.com and to download the PragerU app to make it even easier. So at this point, I'd like you to go to PragerU.com and see the remainder of the podcast. There's a lot of important stuff said, as you probably know, at every point in the podcast. Thank you.